parent and child components, or either you can implement within the same component using a basic HTML. But in basic HTML, you have a concept called data attributes. Data attributes. So there is a concept in HTML 5.0 or a concept called data attributes. Data attribute in the sense you can place these IRA elements within the tag, and on click of this you can able to read this attribute information. Okay, first we'll see this model and then we'll jump on to this model. Now I'm trying to implement something, a collection of contacts which will be placed inside as a table, right? Let me go here. So I'm just creating one component, sftx, create aura component, and component name is contact list display. Contact display based on the account ID that I will be handed. Okay. Now this is my component. So what we have extra here, we have like controller, create apex class, contact lightning controller. So how the method syntax should go, this should be aura method, aura enabled methods, and my return type should be list of contact and method name get contacts, return select id comma name from contact. So I'm just displaying I'm not doing anything on the server side. I'm just having a simple select statement which is returning a list of contacts. Okay. Any questions on this? Any question on this? How to do it? Now what we need to do? We need to do a callback function. Let's say get contacts HLP component comma event comma helper, component comma event comma helper. Now what we need to do? We need to call this get HLP in my action. Let's say do we need ctr. Here I'm calling my helper dot get contacts. I'll say component, here it is. Yes, here it is. Now what we need to do? We need to invoke your server action. We need to invoke your server action on click of this button. How to call your server action? To call your server action, let it get deployed first. Meanwhile, we need to add this controller inside your component. Controller. You added your controller, right? And now what you need to do? You need to call this server action. What is your method name? Get contacts. Get contacts. So here I need to use let action equal to component dot get. The syntax is c dot your method name. Syntax is your c dot method name, and then you need to set a parameters. Now you need to set action dot set params. Action dot set. Here you have a method. Open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. Inside you need to pass array of elements. Let's say here you don't have any arguments, so no arguments for method, for apex method. Either you can declare this statement, either you don't declare, it's fine, because my method have no arguments. So what I'm doing, I'm declaring my set patterns, but I'm not passing any arguments. It's just like a no arguments for a fixed method. And then what you need to do, you need to do a callback. Now you need to do a callback. How to do callback? Action dot set callback, open bracket, close bracket, and then semicolon. Now you need to say, hey, this component, comma. Now you need to define your function. Function will go with two things. Now you can see this is my function. What function will contain ideally? Function always contain response. Function always contain response in callback action. This is my response, and this is my function open close, and this is my set callback close. Clear? It's very simple to understand. Let's say if I remove this, how it looks? It looking like a simple method, and then I'm passing my component name, and then I'm passing my function, open bracket, close bracket. Every function should end open and close with a curly braces. Inside function is a parameterizer called response. This is the standard syntax, okay? This is not something I'm declaring. This is the standard syntax to do a callback. The way we say affix classes, the same way this is the standard syntax. Once I define my response, and I will get my state. Let response state, let's say response state equal to response response dot get state. If I say get state, it understand whether the state is success or state is failure. State is success or state is failure. Now I need to handle. If it is success, what should I do? If it is false, what should I do? I'm saying else alert I'm just saying this is not something you can handle better. Something went wrong. Now what happens if it is success? Let's say response state equal to response state equal to SUCCE. What is the spelling of success? SUCCE. Yes, it's success. What happens if it is success? What happens if it is success? First of all, I'll do a alert statement, and then we'll bind the data step by step. Alert. And then what should I do now? And then what should I do? Let's say response, because always response in the format of objects, so it will be better to deserialize data. JSON dot string, if I am just converting my response into a string. And we can also say one thing here, simple way, data equal to response dot get return value. Return value in the sense whatever you are passing from the server, you can get return value. Open bracket, close bracket, semicolon, and then I'm stringifying my data. So we also have a concept called doInit. We also have a concept called doInit, right? What doInit will do? What doInit will do? As soon as the component loads, if I want to load any default controllers, do in it. If I want to load any default constructor, that time I can use my doInit functions. I mean init loaders. So for that, what you need to do, you need to define your methods. Let's say Aura component handlers. If I say handler, we have like Aura handler, HINDLER, handler name equal to init. This is the standard syntax, you should not change. Value equal to this. If this component loads, and then action. What is your action you need to call? You need to call your init call. Sorry, it should be in the float braces for binding expression C dot for expression. This is your component load. Now how can I see this information? To see this information, what we need, let's say I have created an application, sfdx create aura app contact list display. Instead of loss, I'll say app underscore. This way it would be easy to remember. Deploy, and I'll say you don't want to do anything here, just a component name that you are displaying. That's it. Now I'll go to my it's not deployed. No, it's not. We'll see an output. Whether do we get, so here we are not added anything in the UI component, we added everything in the alert statement. In alert I am just stringifying data, right? I mean whatever data you are getting, you will get a big array, string array. If something goes wrong, you can see something went wrong. And we can also read these error messages. If error is, we have another concept called let errors equal to, again you need to get even response also, dot get error. So if I say error, what happens? You will get a response error. So you can also see this information, let's say. Plus again I'm just JSON dot stringify, open brace, close brace, and I'm just entering my data here. Now you can see. This is component event helper. Now open resource. My app name is something app underscore contacts. App underscore contacts list display. Yes, here we go. I can see a preview now. On load, you should get 10 alerts. If something went wrong or something goes bad, anything you should see some outputs. But I did it never gave anything here. Do init. It is calling from component ideally. Here I can say helper dot. I'm calling through helper. And why this is, okay, 1 minute. Response got get results. Let me say a few alert statements extra. Alert invoke. First I need to ensure my init function is right or wrong. I think init is right. Do init cr handler correct. Interface test see. Posts have postable available for all pages, available for record has record ID. Post lightning quick action. So I need to implement, let's say I'll implement this. Deploy. Let me go to tabs. Tabs. Invoke. Action component dot get c dot get contact. Action dot set. It is invoking, no doubt, but Somehow it is dropping from here. C dot, it's C dot, right? Component dot component. Okay, component dot get C dot action dot set parents. Action dot set callback this function response. Perfect. Then one invoke. Anyway, let me check in this place. Q contacts LTN contacts display. Next, say invoke. Okay, I think let's take off this first. We'll see what happening. Inspect. Console. This is get contacts. How do I enable controller? This doesn't matter. Okay, interesting. Do we have a contacts here first? Select ID remove from contact. We have 34 rows. Get contacts actually. Something is not looking good. It is invoking. Cool. And I'm getting my inside my helper. I'm just trying to debug inside my helper. And action dot parameters is fine. I'll just try to check alert params. I'll set my response alert callback function alert state. So this is my debug. Yearly RT alert response dot get return value. Okay. Invoke helper params. It is going till params, and why it is not in set function? Set callback this function response response. Is something I'm doing wrong here? Call back, same case. This function of response, open bracket, close the bracket, else if get state correct, and why it is not going inside. Ideally this is right, you don't want to do anything here. Action. Really, this is not going inside function. Why is it so? Here. No, that I'm closing here. Oh shit, yeah. You are right. You are right. Absolutely, you are right. I'm missing that. Thanks, Sarja. So after everything, this is another concept that I want to take up, but I forgot. So you need to make your dollar A is nothing but secure dollar, and then you need to do a enqueueAction. You need to do enqueueAction. Without enqueueAction, it will not reach your server. It will not do any callback actions. So you need to enqueue your action. Perfect. Good catch. I don't think no. Component is well and good self-sustain. This is not how bad I am. Okay, cool. So as soon as if you want to do any server call, you need to enqueue action. That's mandatory. Without enqueueAction, the system will not call your server. The system will not call your server. I was looking only in this method. I forgot absolutely with the enqueueAction. Okay, now we can. I don't know to debug anything. enqueueAction, spelling correct, right? enqueue enqueueAction. ACT1 action default. Oh man, what happened? Deploy. Let's see what happened in the log. JSON.stringify data. Params. Callback function. Response. RESPONSE. The other problem is Salesforce. I mean, with this was there is no errors on the syntax missing. I just missed one N here, so entire component got broken. So there is no, but while writing your code in JavaScript, you should ensure that every error you are handling, there is no, it will not show any errors like variable not found or something is missing, nothing. It just saves anything you write, it will accept. State success, and we got the response data. This is how I'm stringifying, right? Jacklots, you can see jacklots. So the same data you are getting in, right? Isn't it? Now we are getting a data. So one thing is clear that we had data now. So now whenever you do a callback, if you get any data, it always better to store somewhere. It is always better to store somewhere. How to store your data? It's in the attributes. In the attributes, let's say aura attributes. What is attributes? Is like a local component variables. So aura attribute name equal to contacts, type equal to, either you can mention your object name or simply mention list. That is enough. You can simply mention list, or you can also say that contact open brace close brace as array. So but it's always right, you can mention like list, it's fine, it accepts everything. So now what I do, I just may go So I'll handle this data in the format of component.set. How to set? By v dot your attribute name comma the resultant values. So what happened? All your component data has been rendered in the contact list. How to display now? How to display? So let me get into it somewhere called component library lightning hyphen cart, simple card like I pick up. Let's see, contacts. So I don't need this button. I'll say inside card body. I'll just render my table. How to render a table? The syntax is table and then table head, right? Isn't it? And then you have th, right? Table header. Th or tr? Th, right? Name th action. I'm just checking the table now. Are we getting like a name action? There are two things I'm saying, name and action, nothing else. Now you don't get any alert statement, you should get a table structure. Name and action, you got it? Contact details. Contact details, name and action, and then you have table row. Table row in the sense the data, table data. That is called T body. What is T body will go? T body will go table row. It means that TR. And then table data is nothing but table column. So for this, here table row will go inside your aura iteration. Aura iteration. Items. V dot. Sorry, I just clicked shortcut. Where contact. So now you can have a TD. Another one called. I'm just making it as a plan, and I'll say index where. We have another called index where index C1. Index C1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this kind way. I'll say v dot index where plus 1. Why I need to mention that? First, it always index starts with 0, 0 plus 1, 1. This way it will go 1 plus 1, 2. It will go in the same way. So now I'll say contact dot name, and I'll say here is an interesting factor comes. Here I'll say edit fit. So this is how I should have my table now. I should have two actions called edit and view, and I should have on click of view, I need to alert my contact name. On click of edit, it need to open a model saying that edit the contact. So ultimately we need to handle on where we are clicking. Iteration. Is there something in that iteration? Items where correct, right? What is this problem? Oh, sorry. I think close my aura iteration. Aura iteration. Should close my aura iteration. Now I close it. Now we got it like 1 because index starts with 0. I mentioned like a 0 plus 1 1, so we got 34 contacts. We got, now let's say here we don't have a space. Let me add some space. NSBP semicolon. Now this is the fact that I'm talking about. We have edit and view, right? How can I know that way in which edit I'm clicking, which edit I'm not clicking? That where we need to understand now. NSBP. NSBP. And NBSP. So, NBSP. NBSP. NBSP is just a white space. It's just add some white space between the characters. No much difference. Now you can see if I click this edit, I should know on which contact I'm clicking. I should know on which row I'm clicking my view. Now you understand the main concern what I'm talking in this diagram. You have table of data with actions. So on I should know because these actions are not, I'm not hard coded this because all these actions are coming from the same iteration. Now how can I differentiate on which click I need to ensure? So this is where we have attributes called data attributes. Data hyphen record ID equal to, you can pass your data even inside a buttons, you can pass your data even inside button. Now what is the unique key between here? What is the unique key? Here name can be duplicated, but the unique is that ID will never be duplicated. So contact dot ID, and for a UI purpose to ensure that you are getting a right data, I can say record name and ensure no, don't use any capital letters or any camel case. Go with a plain case in the sense just go with normal small cases only. You don't mention like a capital N. It's not a good thing that you can do in a attributes. Contact dot name. Now the same parameter I am passing here also. I'm passing, let me pass even in the view tag also, even in the view tag. I'll just format my document, so it got formatted. Let's see. NSBP and put down. So this way it will be clear. Yep. Now I'll define my controller function. I'll define my controller edit action. Edit action. Edit action. Function paste. Now copy, paste, view action. So you can say, right, both are doing same, why you are doing better, but we can improvise it. So first on click of edit action, let me go and update here. Here we have a concept called on click. Control Z, it should be for binding expression C dot your method name, and again it's a view action, then same thing goes here. On click C dot view action. Now we got updated in the control set. Now here we need to read data. Let selected item. First you need to know on which row it's selected. So we have a concept called event dot current target. We have a concept called event dot current target. Here you have a method property event dot get current target, and then you can read let record ID. I'll use capital ID here. Selected item dot data set. We have a concept called data set event dot get target dot current target dot data set. This is something like top. I'm defining it, so I'm using data set dot what parameter you wanted to read. Now I need to use record ID. This is my data that I'm getting from the click. The same thing I'll do for record name. So record name, I'll just do a copy paste from record name. The same thing goes here. I'll let the selected record name. Here you go. And parallelly we can also print our IDs. So ID is a unique character, right? You can do anything with ID. If you have a unique key, that you can do anything. But now for a UI purpose that I'm adding here, copy, I'm saying paste, deploy. Otherwise what happens, you should know on which element you click, what is the value. So there is a way that you can read data very easily using data attributes. If you don't want to use data attributes, then you need to create your tr tag inside your child component. Now data itself gone. Where is my data? What happened? On click correct only. What happened here? Something I'm doing bad here. Correct only. Edit action, view action. Edit action. Where? Got it. Contact. Good catch. So better not to type. Do copy paste. Yeah, here we go. On click of edit, you can see this is the record ID for Jax and Jake. If I click on view and everywhere, you know where I'm getting Siddharth Narendrak. You understand, right? What happened? This is the way that this is one way of concepts to read a data from a table, array of data. If you have collection of data rendered automatically, this is the way that you can read the data by using data attributes. In HTML 5.0. Any question on this? Clear? This is how. These are the three lines. The first line is that event.getTarget, just to ensure where you are clicking, and then from the selected element you can say dataset dot your variable dataset dot. You can pass. There is no limit saying that you should pass only this much data. You can pass even 50, 100, anything. But ensure that while reading data you should say only this name, not like data hyphen. You need to say only the attribute name. Clear?